Now I feel like last year especially, and I think that this was just not a me thing. It felt like a general thing where everybody was really trying to find themselves and trying to heal their traumas, childhood or otherwise. Everyone was like going through a really introspective space, and I remember we were talking about it all the time. How can you find yourself? How can you get out of bad relationship? How can you get into a good relationship? How can you be in your relationship and be good even with all the stuff that is going on? How can you deal with parents who are horrible and narcissistic as a child of from a parent that was narcissistic, or what do you call them, a pick me mom, a pick me dad, like all of these things came, we all started to understand that, oh yeah, by there we may have gone through traumas in ways that we didn't understand. And so most of us were going through a lot of self-healing, a lot of trial and error when it comes to finding yourself. And we made other decisions that then may have put us back a little bit. For example, maybe you had a horrible parent and you decided to reach out to them, and now you've realized that, oh, they didn't actually change, they were just lying for a moment. Maybe you got back in a relationship with someone that you weren't supposed to be with, and they, you know, smacked you right again in the heart, and now your heart is broken again. And with all these efforts of trying to figure out, am I in the right place? Am I making the right decision? Okay, I did it once, I did it twice, it has failed me. Am I really sure that this is the way I want to get into this now new relationship, this new employment, this new thing? You start to feel a lot of self-doubt, and you don't really know how to work around that. And you're really struggling to figure out, hey, am I making the right decision? You don't trust your gut, you don't trust your instincts. And I think a lot of us are actually at that point, and so we need to start to learn how to trust ourselves. Did you go through something that was shaking you to the core in any aspect last year?
I think the major discovery was the type of friends I was making. You know, sometimes you go through life just picking up friends, and then you realize you're never making a decision for yourself. As in, you as an individual, before you do something, you feel the need to consult everyone. And when everyone has an opinion of what's best for you kind of forget what's best for you. And sometimes I would feel so gaslit. I'm like, how? I don't want to do that, but they're telling me to do that. So I would feel very conflicted. And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I need now to go back to what makes sense for me, what makes me happy. And just as you said, I think last year was a huge self-discovery year for most people. People got back into therapy. I started journaling again because, you know, you just need to remember yourself. Remember what is fun for you, what makes you happy, what sparks joy for you. And it was quite an interesting journey.
It really was. But then we also get to that point where, like, are you fully trusting in yourself, or you're still like learning?
I think it's a process. Yeah, it's still a process because sometimes even before you make like a major decision, there's a voice that's telling you, maybe call somebody and ask if they've tried it, if they'd like to try it. You know, even something as they want to invest, you want to invest in something, you're like, let me first call her and see what's happening over there, what they're doing. Even when it comes to your relationship, you're about to make a huge decision in your relationship, but instead of making it alone, you're like, let me call this person and see, you know, what's happening. Let them listen to my side of the story first. If they'll side with me, if they'll show me a different thing. So there's always that urge to reach out to somebody and seek their opinion. Not that it's bad, it's good to always, you know, get a different point of view, but where's the intention coming from? Are you doing it because you're codependent on them, or are you doing because you genuinely need a different point of view?
I completely agree. And from what you're saying, what has helped you was taking a moment each day and reflecting on your values and priorities and long-term goals, which I think is very, very important. When you take a moment out of your day and journal, or you take a day out of your week and see a therapist, or you take a moment out of your busy schedule and just like take a moment and just self-reflect. I think it's very important because once the more you are looking inwards, the more you are taking whatever people are telling you and then deciding, hey, this doesn't make sense, this makes sense, this doesn't make sense, this makes sense. But what makes sense for me is a moment in your life where you will look back and go like, actually, I should have done that. I really should have done that. And a lot of our major leaps in terms of, power and growth within ourselves usually comes from just like USA, looking for a moment of clarity within yourself and going like, does that quietness, is that good? Yes, it's good. Okay, I'm charging forward and I'm going with it. And honestly, a lot of our decisions that we end up now making and actually align with what we wanted to do to begin with. Of course, there are some you will make and you'll be like, damn, I should have listened to them. But like the more you listen to yourself, you'll find that a lot of the decisions, even without necessarily pulling from other people, were decisions you made and you had critical thinking as you were making them. So I completely agree with that.
And also, breathe in, just relax and be in the moment. I think when I was turning 27, I felt like this pressure because I was turning 27 in December, and the whole year felt like I need to achieve something. I need to take notes at the end of the year and say, this is something I've done. So that pressure on me was a lot. And at some point, it got too much where I froze now because now I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
There was so many things I needed to do, but nothing was working anymore. So I just froze. It was a very horrible, time for me. So all I'm saying is be in the moment, relax, and just trust the process. It's difficult, especially when you're looking around and everyone on social media seems to be thriving. This one is driving a new car. They've just bought a... Where are these people getting money? Every day I see a ribbon being cut for a big car. And I'm like, damn, what exactly am I doing with my life? So there was all this pressure. All of my peers seemed to be doing way better. And I felt horrible. You're just in a rush. Every day you're rushing towards something and you just don't know what. So just relax and be in the moment. If it's spending time with your kids, be in the moment, spend time with them, take care of their needs. Your partner, don't neglect them because you're chasing after something you're not really quite sure what you're chasing. Be in the moment with them, and then you'll just think things play out naturally.
Another thing that I've really realized is like sometimes your intuition, and as I said, those silent moments in your mind that bring clarity, and sometimes a little, let's just do it. Kwani, what's the worst that could happen? Those little small things are very, 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 very important. And especially in a space where you are very uncertain of a lot of things, and your brain tells you, no, this one we're sure. This one for sure. This is where we're going. You really do need to listen to that. And especially, I think for me, there's been a lot of change in my life in general. And you find that I am now grasping at what would be the most ideal thing for me to do? Like what would my husband would have wanted me to do? What would he have said? What would he have thought? Because he's doing well in his own right. Like he is successful in his own way. But I am still struggling to figure out like where's my career going? What am I doing now? Like what is happening in 2 years? So he's very meticulous about planning. I'm more spur of the moment, and that's kind of how I've lived my life. I trust the process and I keep pushing until I get to somewhere. But now that what's the plan can also be a lot of pressure, and you find that every conversation ends up at like, what's the plan though? It feels very, very daunting, and it can be very, very scary not to actually have a plan. But I know deep inside that this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe it doesn't align with what seems like the best way to do it or the best decision, but like this is what I feel like I have an affinity for, and this is the direction I want to go into. And of course now that coupled with everyone else's noise can be, it can be quite a lot. So I don't know. And then as Turia said, you go online and you see that, hey, people's careers, honestly, they are thriving. They are doing all the things that I want in my life. They are in the places that I want to be in, and so on and so forth. And you just like feel like, am I falling behind? And you start now being scared of even trying, because like, what if I try and it fails? Then it just stuck, I admit to myself that this is who I actually am. There's a lot of fear that comes from pressure and being meticulous and planning. But honestly, if you trust those little nudges, no, let's not go this way. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. We'll be fine. If you keep trusting that, it actually works out. You find that you build trust in yourself.
And I think the biggest part is just being accountable. Taking accountability for the things you have done. Because if you do not, you're going to keep repeating the same mistake. So you need to realize, hey, I made a mistake here. This is what I'm going to do to not do that mistake again. These are the lessons I've learned from this mistake. But with us girlies, do we ever take accountability? Just like Mercury was in microwave or something. So you never really take accountability for the things you do. You just blame it on the weather, blame it on traffic, blame it on somebody else, blame it on the mood, blame it on ovulation and menses. Like there's so many things you could shift blame to, so it's easier for you just to cruise life.
Yeah.
But there's this thing I saw somebody say where life will keep throwing you the same scenario. They just changed characters, the same thing, until you actually learn from the mistake you're supposed to learn from. So until you stop deflecting all of everything to everyone, trust me, you're not going to grow. You will never trust yourself, because if I can't keep the promises I make to myself, why would I expect other people to trust me? Why would I even trust me? So now you're always in a hostage. Imagine you can't trust yourself. As in, you know how you're always wary of a con man? It's like, you look sus. Now imagine being sus with yourself. You look at the mirror, you're like, you're not a good person. You know, it's not a really good place to be in.
Yeah.
So just take accountability and maybe make amends where you need to make amends.
Absolutely. And I think another thing is, I know it feels like when you look at your life holistically, you think, wow, I'm supposed to have done this in 3 years. Wow, I'm supposed to be there in 10 years. Wow, am I going to be able to have retirement money? Wow, 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 wow. You're still in your working years and you're worrying about your retirement. If you don't take a day and be like, okay, what did I do today to make sure that I retire comfortably? And you did nothing. You just you did nothing, that's going to pile up. For sure, that's going to pile up. So like accepting that, yes, you have a long way away, a long way ahead of you, but like you need these small little things to be done and accomplished in order for you, that big picture to be able to become what you want it to be. I want to be in a cruise or on a cruise when I am in my 50s, enjoying my money, drinking a mojito or a pina colada or whatever, just not worrying about money, but what am I doing now to make sure that that happens? And when you actually do achieve that thing, just like, kudos, you've done well. I kept saying I'm a procrastinator and I always get late everywhere. But this year I promised myself I will try as much as I can to get places early. Not because of any other reason, but because I just want to change that narrative about myself. Like guys can't be like, where? You're always late, you're always late, you're always late. I can't be surprising people that I got somewhere early. That can't be my thing. You know, I refuse to be that person. And the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks, every time Turi calls me, she's like, yo, where are you? I'm like, I'm already at work. She's like, are you at work? I'm like, yeah, I got here like an hour ago or 30 minutes ago. She's like, okay, I'm on my way. You know, like I don't want to surprise people about small things like being on time. You know, like I want to actually also remind myself that I can actually manage my time properly, because if I can manage my time properly, then I should be able to manage other things. I can't just keep saying, I'll do it, it will be done, but I'm making no efforts to actually make sure these things are done. So pat yourself on the back when you do something good. Y'all, I've been early all of January.
Exactly.
I've been early. But then keep now making more steps to make sure that you are now trying to accomplish and fulfill the bigger picture.
And even as we're celebrating ourselves and rewarding ourselves and acknowledging the good things we've done, I have this thing where I over-congratulate myself. One thing about me, I will reward myself. I will even reward myself for waking up in the morning. I'm like, oh, girl, after such a successful night, here you have woken up again. And, I feel there's a negative side to rewarding.
There is an overdoing.
I will work out. I will go like for a 5-kilometer walk and then sit down at a restaurant and have like an ice cream stand. I'm like, yo, treat yourself. You got treat yourself. So I'm always,
like you're never growing, but you're growing.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like you're growing, but the results are not visible.
I'm like, treat yourself.
So, child, I lose 1 kg
I will treat
and
myself.
then I go and sit down somewhere and perambulate.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? It makes no sense.
There's a focaccia you actually showed me.
Yeah.
So now that has been the obsession, Nakanja, like a few hours, alafu nasema, maybe they should order some focaccia. And I'm like, wait, what a minute, wait, what's this?
Oh my
so
days.
Maybe moderate. Let us moderate
how much you
we
congratulate
reward
ourselves.
ourselves. Yeah.
Like always think about the bigger picture and keep pushing. And there's nothing wrong with falling behind because it is still February. But like some things that you want to do, you need to do them now. I know there are things I need to do by the end of January, and the end of January is today. So by tomorrow, February 1st, I'm supposed to have probably been working on them. What are some of those things for you? Let us know. I honestly hope that you've enjoyed the show. We've had quite a revelation. That particular article on ways to cultivate your inner self-trust was courtesy of Muthoni wa Mukiri. So shout out to you, Muthoni wa Mukiri, for that amazing, amazing thing. And yeah, don't forget, small things pile up.
Exactly.
So always try.
And there are a few messages that actually came in. Mary from Kiambu is watching. And there's this really funny one that has come in. You didn't leave your name, but you said, hey, let's talk. My boyfriend traveled to the United States. And Valentine's is here. And men are coming. Oh, it's raining men. So should I go for it or should I not? Also, we still talk with my boyfriend. Temptations. Let me tell you, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Amen.
But like
sister?
that, we still talk
We
is
still
a problem.
talk.
We still talk
So
is a
is he
problem.
neglectful in the relationship?
Girl,
or
you don't got a man. It
You
sound like you don't got a man. It sound like you don't got a
Kahawa,
man.
accept flowers.
Food, AJ. Food has never made anyone do anything bad.
Go on that date, boo.
Please go and enjoy those flowers. Enjoy that whatever you're getting.
Or make this a defining moment for relationship. If even in the States, he doesn't, make the effort of contacting
Calling and
a
getting
flower
flowers
shop
to be sent.
to send to your
Bloody
to your
cake.
address.
Yeah,
like some
Kwani?
chocolate. Just
Enjoy. He can make a reservation for you from wherever he is. Just call whatever the hotel is, call whatever the restaurant is.
It's so easy.
And just like, yo, I need to make a reservation for blah, 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 get her this, get the this. Like, imagine it's not rocket science. He doesn't have to be physically here for you to enjoy him. It's not,
So baby girl, you accept flowers. Accept chocolate. It's not cheating.
And even him, if he sends you, just still accept.
And if he sends, it will be now a defining, so he my man.
Okay.
This is my
boyfriend. My man. But for now, he's your man, but away. Let's just enjoy. Kidogo too.
You can have many men.
It's just a boyfriend at the end of the day. It's just a boyfriend. It's not your husband. It's not your fiance. It's not your fiance. I'm just saying.
We forget this is national TV. They're gonna roast us.
It's so, but like, okay. Wewe nikuulize mtu akikwambia my boyfriend is away, but we still talk. But we still talk.
So it's just a friend who is away.
He's your boyfriend when he's here. When he's away, he is not. It seems. You're the one who's telling us the information. Anyway, let us know what your thoughts are.